We move forward to something that, if you could see the table, this is what I imagine if I ate paper for a living and consumed stats. This would be a full meal.
It's what I do.
I love this.
It's a six-course meal.
You're a sous chef with a master chef.
It's not in any order.
The stats. Oh, I don't care. I've got them all memorized because I spent last night looking up El Clasico stats and what's going to make this game even more appetizing than what it already is. The first one, which is something that I'm sure is running all across the headlines, is the Messi drought. Messi, despite being the top goal scorer in history with 21 to his name, he has not scored in the last 5 matches against Real Madrid in all competition. His worst run against them. So I'm going to spit out some of these stats. We're going to take time to digest them and give an answer as to what we think might happen. And then we'll come back and look at some more overwhelming stats. So at the moment, despite the fact that he hasn't scored in 5, he has assisted in a ridiculous amount in the last 32 appearances. He's assisted in 13 different occasions from his last 32 appearances in El Clasico. So what does that tell you? There may be a goal drought, but if you think that means that Lionel Messi is not going to be influential in this game, you are insane. You're a crazy person. Crazy.
Lower your voice, Ron.
Sorry. This is horse shit.
It's funny as horse shit.
No, but so, do I imagine that Lionel Messi will continue this drought? I don't think it really matters. I think that he just needs to contribute in order for Barcelona to win this game, whether it's assisting, whether it's providing goals. He's been despite the fact that his form in El Clasico of the last 5 games in terms of goal scoring hasn't been top-notch, he's been unbelievable right now. He is carrying that front 3. Suarez is hit and miss at times. Neymar's gone through one of his worst runs in a Barcelona jersey. So I think that it is going to rely on how influential Lionel Messi is. But, Jason,
there's some other fun ones, too.
Hit me.
Look, the Messi Ronaldo, of course, that's the headline. It's like, as much as you type in Real Madrid versus Barcelona or El Clasico, it comes up Messi versus Ronaldo, edition number, 37? 52? How many times they've played against each other in all competitions? Here's some really fun stats.
Hit me.
The 2 teams have only met once before match day 14 of La Liga, and that game ended in a 5-5 draw back in 1943. How happy would you be if it was 10 goals scored?
5-5. Jesus Christ.
Zizou could become the first Real Madrid manager to win consecutive away games against Barcelona since Miguel Munoz in 1965. Talking 50 years?
There is a lot riding on this game, like statistically, facts-wise, there's many more. Have you got another one in there in your bag of facts?
Yes,
hit me.
I do. Real Madrid has received 11 red cards in its last 26 games against Barcelona.
Yeah.
Who do you think?
Come on, is this even a question?
Who do you think?
If he plays, I'm not sure if injuries back in.
Who do you think it is?
Sergio Ramos.
Oh, God, I didn't think you knew it like off the hand.
Oh, come on. This guy loves to get sent off, but it all depends on injuries.
4 of them belong to Ramos.
All right, well, let's just keep the stats and facts going. This whole clip is just going to be, and we're just going to bombard you with some crazy stats. So, despite the fact that both of us talked about why this could be a draw with what's riding on it, El Clasico has not produced a 0-0 draw since November 2002. The most common Clasico result, as we know, which we've seen, is 2-1. It has occurred 43 times, 23 of those in Madrid's favour in 232 games. And as you mentioned before, the last time they met before match day 14 is 5-5. But there's some other things that I wanted to touch on, which is really interesting, talking about Luis Enrique and this Messi, Neymar, Suarez combination that we have going on. If you think because they haven't been firing on all cylinders that the stats don't favour them to continue to contribute, then you have another thing coming, because Luis Enrique is facing Real Madrid for the 7th time as La Liga boss. He's won 3, lost 3 of his previous games, but since Luis Enrique's first match as a head coach, only Diego Simeone has beaten Real Madrid more than him. So therefore, he knows how to win this game. Zinedine Zidane's got an unbelievable record because he's only managed to participate.
Well, he's got an unbelievable record. He's got an unbelievable record. Zidane could actually go on a 23-game losing streak and still be 23-23-7 on the season. In all competitions.
All these stats kind of come back to what this game's going to mean for either side. So there is no doubt in my mind that I stand by my point. If Real Madrid win this game, I think the La Liga is theirs to lose. Definitely. I think they will go on and win it.
So, a lot of people, there's a lot of clamoring. I love comment section, man. You bring up Real Madrid, Barcelona, and it gets out of hand. It also gets offensive really quickly.
Yeah.
I love the threads. It starts with one comment like, I just think that Messi's better than Neymar and Suarez and Ronaldo. And then you go down to like comment 423, and it's like, your mom thinks that. Like, why do we bring mothers into the conversation?
Of course,
your mom does not have more goals than Ronaldo.
You don't know. She might be scored on a few times. But hey!
Last year, La Liga, Barcelona had like a 14-point lead, and as many people put it, limped across the finish line. It don't matter how.
As long as you're there.
It don't matter how. As long it's the literal definition of the ends justify the means. Being up 14 and winning by 1 point at the end of the year still means you won La Liga.
In comparison to Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo's stats, they look a little limp. But that's because Lionel Messi, as we know, thrived in the past and has thrived in El Clasico games. He has more of them to his name. But what you have to take into consideration is that Cristiano Ronaldo banged in a crucial goal in the last game. He scored 16 times in his 25 Clasico appearances, giving him an almost identical goal per game ratio to Messi in comparison to how many games he's played. But one thing that has to be taken into consideration with Ronaldo is only Di Stefano, who is a legend in the all-white, has scored more goals against Barcelona for Real Madrid than Ronaldo. So, but then when Cristiano Ronaldo's all his goal-scoring phenomenon is weighed up to his assist level, that's where I would always, if you ever get into the argument of Messi, Ronaldo, and who's going to be more influential, Ronaldo does do a lot of things to help his squad, but more often than not, he is judged on how many goals he can contribute. Messi's assist level is through the roof. Cristiano Ronaldo's only produced 1 assist in 25 Clasico games. It's not a very good statistic. That's the only time I'll
You know what they're good at?
Rag on Ronaldo.
They're good at the football.
They're good at the game. They're good at the game, and I can trust them. Yeah, by the way, here's another interesting one. I'm just getting even more stats. Messi has not scored in a Clasico match where he's been playing at the same time as both Luis Suarez and Neymar.
Luis Suarez and Neymar. Like, when you look at this, it's such a surface level thing. He's got 13 assists in his last 32 appearances in El Clasico. You have, Ronaldo is I guess the way to put it is the end-all, be-all, the guy who you should have the ball at their feet when they're going to put it at the back of the net, right? That's the one you want taking as many shots on target as you can for Real Madrid, regardless of situation. It's never been that case for Messi. He can pinpoint a pass to make sure Neymar finishes it, and just like that, he can do it with Suarez, probably more with Suarez in terms of Suarez's current run of form right now. Yes, it's always been quantifiable. They both have tremendous influence over the pitch. Messi simply covers slightly more territory. Look at the heat maps. Doesn't mean he's a better player right now. It doesn't mean that you can put the argument towards either or and you have to pick one side at the moment. It's just that if you look at the heat maps, it's one of my favorite things to look at in terms of how much ground they're covering. And no, this is not a Michael Bradley USMNT heat map where you're like, what have you done? You've been running like a madman all over the pitch and you haven't done anything.
Yeah, an N'Golo Kante heat map literally is like you can't touch it. It's on fire.
It's the floor is lava. You played when you were a kid.
It's just
there's nowhere there's nowhere to go.
Yeah, the guy
he's
covers
there.
everything.
So that's what my point being is that Messi simply covers more territory. He plays in a system that makes sure he covers more territory. I'm sure Ronaldo's capable of doing it, but he doesn't need to. It's not it's not his bread and butter.
Yeah. So
it's not his haggis and tea.
If you still have some room left over from all the El Clasico stats and figures that we've thrown your way, there will be previews, which is why I don't want to get into too much as to who's going to win the game. I genuinely, in just a brief consensus, think the game will be won and lost in the midfield. I think it's going to be a battle between the likes of Rakitic, Modric, Kroos. I think it's going to be a great game, there's no doubt. But I think that, as I will talk about in tactics, there's going to be a lot going into what I will end up going with as a draw, as we've talked about.
2 bets, the 2-2 draw I put down, and a Rakitic goal. Because it's
I think
always the weird.
I think there's a solid.
Usually El Clasico, there's the Ronaldo goal. There's usually
Rakitic scores in big games. I think he's a perfectly good bet. I also think there's.
He's also always gets great odds.
I think there's a good bet for Benzema as well. He likes to bang in it. He scored in the last game, the 2-1 win.
Did Ramos score in the last El Clasico? Or
No, it was Benzema and Ronaldo scored in the 2-1 game.
What about the 4-0 game that had?
Well, they lost 4-0. So
no, I know Barcelona, but had 2 guys that were off the cuff.
Gerard Piqué likes to score now and again.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying. Like, be contrarian. Ronaldo's probably not going to bang in 5 goals against Barcelona.
I doubt that.
Pretty surprised, but it would be remarkable.